Sir, we're back.
We back. Before we get back into the video, man, I just want to apologize to the audience if you're still on here. If not, you'll see this later on. I cut the stream accidentally from my admin account. I'm a button masher. My bad. I was trying to do one thing, did the other thing. So I appreciate you. I apologize for throwing off the flow, but we all back again. Let's get back into it.
That's what happened when you're going live. Stuff happens in live in effect, and we just have to correct some errors. All right, so y'all ready, folks?
You're
Ready.
All right, let's go, man. Ain't nothing we can't fix.
For a war, or else they're going to distract you from the war. You know, when I'm having conversations with people in this moment, not always, but right now, I've been investing in this network for 10 years, way over $20 million. And that's out my pocket. And I'm waiting for this thing to turn around. So I already did the record label. I know what that yields. It doesn't do it. I do the fashion. I know what it yields. All those things can only be ancillary things, a division of. But I can't be my business model because it doesn't make enough money unless you're robbing your artist. You know, so when you hear people say, I just sold someone else's masters for a lot of money, they just robbed their artist. You understand what I'm saying? I never took none of my artists' masters. So could you imagine me with Jay-Z's masters or Kanye's masters or any one of the masters? I'd be a trillionaire. But see, the thing about it is, if you keep a creative rich, you get Kanye, you get Jay-Z. Creatives have ideas all day. They just can't make them happen because they ain't got no money, and then they got to get robbed to do it, and it doesn't become the idea they want. So I always wanted to keep my artists rich because it's so interesting what they do when they have money, when the ideas come to fruition. I don't think I deserve to make so much money off somebody else. That's why I had to start doing my own thing. I gave everybody a 15-year head start. Like, I'll help y'all get there so I can have a little competition. Now the games begin. Now I'm going to work on my brand. And that's what I've been doing. So we get to make books. I get to be with principals. I get to do art. I get to do fly shit. As soon as I pulled up, I already knew this was a collective because I do collective. So as soon as I pulled up, I asked myself, that looks like a collective. I already knew it was a collective. Because I do it. I've been doing it. I've been opening up art galleries since 2005. You know, I like to do different things. I like to start from scratch and just to see if I could do it. So if I could do it like this, I want to see if I could do it like this. So I'm doing it like this now. Because I already did it like this when I was a teenager. It's too easy. If I could go and do all of this that quick, then I got to go dream bigger. And it just takes a long time. The bigger.
Just want to let the guests know, if y'all can, everybody on the panel, if you could share this live on your Facebook and your social media sites, we would definitely appreciate that. Just starting off, we'll get Dame Dash is saying he's already doing the virtual signaling again. I know it's a moral clause in business at times, but the way he's presented himself, saying that he's robbing people, we got to really break this stuff down when you're doing business, when people sign contracts and actually agree to what they want to be paid and compensated, you know. So, what's your thoughts on that? Let's just bring it around the panel. Starting with Vulcan. You're still on mute.
I think you said it best. Once you sign a contract, I mean, you're agreeing to the terms. We saw that on the Last Dance with Scottie Pippen and Jerry Krause, and that's the whole situation right there. He told him to sign a contract. He signed the contract, and then he was mad about the contract because they didn't want to renegotiate it. You know, that's why it's really important to think thoroughly and have good lawyers.
Definitely.
I wanna put it out there. I think Dame's perspective is accurate up to maybe, you know, the mid to late 2000s. I think he's speaking from a perspective where a lot of the street artists that they're dealing with didn't have access to the information that they have access to now, and may have been going into these good faith negotiations a little bit blind and possibly unarmed with the information that they need. But for him to still be kind of pushing this narrative, it's as if there's not the information out there, as if people don't have the internet in their pockets, as if we don't have people like Dame or other people who are talking about the danger of 360 deals, or we're talking about the danger of these types of deals. But even more so, whatever that person is offering at the time is valuable enough to the artist for them to sign away whatever, for them to for them not to do their due diligence and read and try to understand on their own. No one's forcing these guys to sign these contracts, regardless of how much legal jargon is put into it, regardless of how much they don't understand it. Any artist can say, like, let me have my lawyer go over this, so let me read it. None of them are, because they see that number and they want that money. A lot of these guys are coming from nothing. While that doesn't necessarily make it, I don't even want to say right or wrong, right? Because I mean, unless someone put a gun to your head and force you to sign these, which I'm pretty sure at some point in time in the industry has happened. These guys are making this conscious choice, whatever the money is. So to Vulcan's point and to Eno's point, once you sign that contract, you can't all of a sudden decide, no matter what anyone tells you, that you are worth more than what you said you was worth initially. So your best bet is to come into it with your eyes open, or work your way out of that first contract and then negotiate the next contract in a more educated fashion.
Definitely. The famous quote: "You never get what you're worth, but you get
You
what
get
you
what you
negotiate."
negotiate. Yeah. He's when people push narratives like this, my last point, when people push narratives like this from inside the culture, it stinks of like, my people are too dumb to understand this stuff. And I'm like, I don't think it's that anymore. And maybe at one point in time, when you're dealing with uneducated street guys who just came inside from being on the block, we're like, we have access to this information now. This can't be the same problem that it was back in the early 90s, where there was a lack of information that was available at our fingertips. Now it's like, if you sign that deal, well, I mean, you earn that. That's what you wanted, regardless of whether or not it works for you in 2 or 3 years. So I don't like them demonizing the industry the way they do. And you could tell Dame obviously has a personal vendetta about it. I wish he would clarify that he may be talking about early 90s, early 2000s artists, as opposed to the artists now. I don't think the artists now are getting robbed.
You got anything, Coach?
I agree to an extent. You got to understand, man. Oftentimes, when you realize who these A&R individuals and record labels go after, they're not going after a well-established individual. They purposely target young kids in the hood that are talented. So when you give a young child that ain't never had nothing, living at home with his mom, barely making it on food stamps, his whole dream is to be a rapper, and you put a contract in front of him, he gonna sign it. He don't have the money to go. He don't even have the money to go get a lawyer to look at what the contract is gonna say. All he sees is an opportunity. He gonna run with that opportunity.
Now, do you think
Let me
that's
jump in. Hold on, Fresh. So let me jump
okay?
in. Are you saying you agree that the industry is actually robbing these people? That's what you
100%.
agree to a certain degree?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's the reason why some of these artists right now, because I know a couple of these local artists in Houston, even though I don't care for their music, I respect the fact that some of them have stayed independent. I can name one right now out of Houston. He got 4.5 million followers in Houston as a rapper. Never signed anything because he knows better.
Coach,
So
let me ask you
go
this
ahead.
question though.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Why do these guys know better? What resources do they have that other artists don't have that allows them to know better?
And that's what it comes down to, exposure. It comes down to your parenting. It comes down to exposure. It comes down to a lot of different things. And sometimes it's just a decision.
No, and that's my point. I don't think they're getting robbed, right? That's like me walking up to you and telling you they may be getting hustled. I can't see robbed though.
When
Because
I say robbed,
they're making conscious decisions. They're not being robbed. Robbed in it entails a bit of force or deceit.
I think there
don't
is some
think at
deceit, though. I really believe there is some deceit there because I believe
there may be
I believe
less communication, but it's not deceitful if you can't
or
understand something.
misled to believe is something that it's not. Whatever you want to call that.
To that point, how much is that on the fault? How much is that on the label? Especially because if we've been honest, they've been doing this for years.
Well,
Right.
when you say
So
misled,
when you're talking about a new age artist, they're going into these deals with as much information as they have ever had. Are we
Right.
saying that they're being robbed because they're choosing not to go do their due diligence?
well,
Like this is
he already clarified that fresh. He said misled. He said they being misled,
Yeah, I
not
said
robbed.
misled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
no, I understand, but we would to be misled. I'm thinking we would have to be privy to some of these conversations where someone's saying like, "Hey, this is the deal," and then the contract saying something different, as opposed to, "Hey, man, if you wanna get on, here's what you got to do," and they saying, "You
Right.
know what?
All
I'm
right,
gonna
but
do that."
when we say these young kids are being misled, let's keep in mind, and you see this on Dream Champs, artists like Noriega on Dream Champs talked about this. Bow Wow talked about this. You can't sign a contract if you're not 18. So
Right.
we say kids, we're talking about 18, 19, 20. The same age is required for you to go to the military. Are we
Where
talking?
you
Because I mean, we could argue that they might be being misled. You got it. 18. As a contract presented, they have to sign it
right,
and do a commit to it for 4 years or 20 years, whatever whatever the length is to
Right.
do service. Are they being misled at 18?
Well, I
Because
mean, a lot of times they getting signed a lot younger than
Rob,
that.
go
Look at some of these people. They started careers young, man. You just don't hear about them until later on because they're in the prepping stages of whatever it takes to put out an album. Chris
Mhm.
Brown started at like 12. Usher started at like 12.
yeah, but
The
their
Brandy
reason
started.
parents
the
ran
reason
on
I
that.
said they
They
started off
get
at
signed
12, their
early. New
parents,
Edition started.
Yeah,
their
but they didn't
parents, they
sign
had to have a
those.
guardian. They had to
Yeah,
have
their
a guardian
parents
to
was
sign
on
it.
board for those.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And we never heard about Usher or Chris Brown who had their parents in their contract negotiations being hustled or taken advantage of. Both of them have wildly successful careers. So
Well, that's
Yeah. We don't.
I don't like characterizing it past a certain point as dishonest or I think again, this is like me Arvin offering a starving child food and saying, listen, you gotta go if you want to eat, all you got to do is come over here and do A, B, and C. Now, to that point, if you don't want to do A, B, and C, don't accept the food. But I don't think it's deceit or being misled when you say, I want that. That's what I want. I'm hungry. I want that food. They said, this is what I got to do for that food. I'm going to do that. That's a choice. That's a conscious choice that you make.
I
I
understand
just
that. I
just
get
want to
that.
emphasize the age. I mean, the government is the reason why they say 18. You're considered an adult, so they might have some information where I don't know what our brains and why they chose to use or
Well, that's based
legalize
off of
18,
antiquated
18
science
as a
for sure, though.
legalization. Yeah, yeah. Say
Yeah,
again.
that's based on that age limit is based off of antiquated science.
Okay.
It's been proven through multiple studies that at least
What 26? I think 26 when
yeah,
your
I want to
brain
say
fully developed.
your frontal lobe is not even fully developed until like much farther past 18. But I
Mhm.
think there is another study, and I'm not going to get into it here for much, but the portions of the brain that go into decision making are close, if not fully developed, at 18, which is why I think they allow it to remain 18.
Okay.
I just don't like characterizing it as dishonest. I think these kids are making bad choices based on their home life and stuff like that, which is still tragic. But I don't think it's with evil intent at this point.
I'll say this. I agree that it's more of a choice in today's society because more known about these contracts
Right.
versus what it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I said 20 years ago, I acceptable because they just didn't have
Right.
access to this information. But
Right. Agree. I agree.
yeah,
All right. You
I
want to jump
agree.
in it? You got anything, Vogue? I see you shaking your head. Some of the points they're making. All right. Let's get back into the video, y'all. Oh, any Y'all got anything else you
No,
want to say?
no, yeah, I'm good. We can get back to the video.
All right, cool.
Your dream is, the longer it takes to realize yourself, the more money you got to put out. When you're ahead, you have to wait for a whole world. Because I've been doing streaming since like literally before I had a television network.
This tiny device will let you track your equipment from your smartphone.
Tragic.
A simple device like this.
On YouTube before they were monetizing, before they were commercials, Creative Control with Cootie and Shike. You know, that was 2005. I've literally been smoking weed and waiting for everyone to catch up this whole time. I had a streaming service before Netflix. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I learned the paid subscription doesn't work. It got to be free, but you got to have an ad plug. I can't make no money getting the 1% and then breaking that with somebody. It don't make no sense. So my point to all of that is, yeah, I've been injecting, working. I haven't caught that lick in a minute, and I'm still all right. And when this thing turns, I should catch right back up. But what you know is, what have I tried to do and come out with? I've been practicing. I can show you a rock and roll project that I just did with Freeway, a movie that I just directed that I just put out in theaters myself. I can show you a book that we just made, a comic book, a magazine, a clothing line, some sneakers, some glasses, all these things done on my own, no funding, no none of that. I made a whole independent boutique conglomerate. Now I might be all right with getting a partner, but I have something tangible. It's there. There's something that I could, I could predict how much money I think it's going to make. But I had to have all of those things, because why have a television network and not be able to put my own commercials for a product that I own right next to someone that someone else owns? My ads go right with Nike. Meaning, if I got sneakers, ad right next to Nike. You know, if Raiders of the Lost Ark is coming out, Prince of Detroit is right there, movie. My point is, on every vertical, I'm showcasing how creative I am. I'm not even a great businessman. I just like being creative, but I'm gonna be free. You can't do what you want unless, and you can't do what you want in a house unless it's yours. If you don't own that house, you can't do what you want. So I would rather own a small house than have to be in somebody else's big house and can't go in the refrigerator and walk around without my clothes on. Pause. You know what I mean? I would rather just have a nice little joint and have it decorated correctly, but it's mine, you know, and I could build it at my choice. If I mess up the floors, it's my floors to mess up. Mm-hmm. So I get to burn while I learn. When I made Honor Up, that cost me $1 million out my pocket. I learned that it only should cost me $200. But if it was somebody else's money, I couldn't have done that. You know what I mean? I would never get hired to be a CEO. I would never get hired to be a director. I would never get hired to make a sneaker. No one's hiring me to do anything that I've ever done. So that's why you have to be an entrepreneur to make your dreams come true. Because if you dream that you want to be the president, because I always wanted to be the president, but not of the United States, just the president of something that's mine, my own country. It could be this big, as long as I'm the president. You understand what I'm saying? So in order for me to be the president of anything, I had to create a company. And then I was able to make myself the CEO. Now I'm the chairman. You could call yourself what you want when it's yours. Right. You can make any title, or I'm able to give my son my music vertical, Blue Rock Music. If it wasn't mine, I wouldn't have nothing to give him. Here, take that. I actually create companies based on my kids' dreams. So I have to be well-versed in everything. So again, I'm good at, music is my thing. Fashion is my thing. Movies is my thing. You got to remember, I put Kevin Hart on. Lee Daniels. I discovered I funded his first movie and put Kevin in the first 2 movies. So I'm kind of savvy in a lot of things. So if I put all of that on a network, then everything you see, I should also be selling. If we're wearing clothes, I'm making the clothes. If we drinking liquor, I should own that liquor. You smoke weed, I should have that brand. Anything you see is a commercial for something I'm about.
I just want to say this point right here. He's speaking about himself right now. Nothing wrong with doing that. I think what he's doing is great. I think his business acumen and his knowledge and the way he self-promotes is amazing, and something that we should all take note of. But the only issue I have with Dame is there's this implication. There's this idea that he's saying that that's the best thing for people to do. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. That's a lifestyle that typically leads to a lot of hours outside of the home, typically leads to a lifestyle that's not the best or the most conducive for a family. Somebody who's owned a business for years and had to do payroll and oversee different things right there. It's a lot that goes into that kind of thing. And a lot of men who are in business go through divorces. You know, I'm not saying my opinion about that, whether it's good. I'm just saying that that's a reality of it. People have different values. And my thing about Dame is this is a man who's committed himself to being an entrepreneur, but I don't know if he's married. Is he married? What if
No.
some people's goal in life is to be married and have a family and have progeny that have a mom at home. I'm not saying that's better than what he's doing or worse than what he's doing. My point is just saying that, you know, sometimes when what he's saying, I think he just thinks that his way of doing things, his way of thinking is the way of thinking instead of a way of thinking.
Correct. I actually don't have anything to add. He pretty much nailed.
Yeah, I just want to say this, and this is common with a lot of people that's in business for themselves or entrepreneurs. One thing he did say, he could pass this business to his child. Come on, man, like that's a good thing. That's honorable, right? But this is common with guys that own their business and they pass it off to their children. They like Volker just said, a lot of people are not meant to be entrepreneurs, and a lot of times you pass these businesses off to your children, and they don't do well with it. Sometimes the business crash. This is not just business. It's going on even in the real estate. You see that going on in Atlanta. I think Killer Mike spoke about this. A lot of the homes and businesses that the elders created and back in the 60s and 70s, they passed it on to their children. They sold it. You know, it's not for everybody. So
yeah,
so,
not just that, but I just want to because you reminded me a little bit more of a breakdown of my point. Is that any of us who've been in management or owned a business and you've had people that were really good workers at what they do, and you may go to them and say, "Hey, look, why don't you look at? I want to promote you to a different position." Now, this position is going to pay you more money, but it's going to require a lot more of your time. Have you ever had somebody that said, "Hey, look, man, I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm good.
Yeah.
My kids got to be at practice at this time. My wife does this. I do this. I'm part of Bible study, whatever it is." You know what I'm saying?
I got more responsibilities. I can take on more responsibilities.
I'm a youth coach. And I got a good schedule right now, and I'll rather forego the money and even maybe the freedom of more monetary gain to be able to do other things with that resource for the time with my family. And I'm not saying that you're wrong or right, depending on what you want to decide. My thing is, I don't think we should despise or look down upon or esteem somebody less for them having a different value system than guys like Dame and guys who are all about the hustle and the grind and the flip.
What about the fact that him passing his business down to his son may or may not obligate the son to run this business? Can we trade ownership for success? Is ownership success, regardless of how successful the business is?
It depends on who you're asking. For some people it is, for some people it isn't.
And that's my point.
Success is subjective.
Exactly. That's my point. So if his son has another talent, right, or he has a passion that he is actually passionate about, that he can do in another industry, right? It doesn't matter. I'm not going to put a name on it. What if he can make more money or more impact or have a greater effect on his life than running his father's business? Which, again, because success is subjective, I don't even know if we consider Dame a successful entrepreneur. I haven't heard about anything that Dame has done outside of Rockefeller from anyone but Dame. That's not knocking it.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't pass Rockefeller down to us because he actually sold it.
I'm saying anything that he's done, period. So we know Dame for his success with Rockefeller. I don't know Dame for his success in any other arena that he's worked in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, again, that's not like Coach Andre said, success is subjective, but to that point, we can't have one view of success and trash everyone else's perspective of.
Let me speak to that real quick, because I saw this, especially right after the pandemic. I saw this a lot, and of course, I had opened my business right before the pandemic, and I saw a lot of people posting online. you know, I couldn't work for somebody else, and you're a slave if you work for somebody else. And I just found that to be so disheartening because, you know, I've been on both sides. I've been corporate. I've made good money corporate. I've made good money. I've been broke. I have all these different experiences and stuff like that. And my whole point with a lot of this stuff is there's different strokes for different folks. You know, not everybody has the option to choose what they want to do with their life and what fulfills them, what pays their bills. And it's not, and the broader point for the audience I want them to hear is just Dame. I'm not picking on Dame here. I just think that within the Black community that I've seen sometimes that there's this, we tend to look down on people who have regular jobs. Mm-hmm. But those regular jobs keep the world running. The guy who's an entrepreneur and he has like a painting building service, right? That's not keeping the infrastructure running. The HVAC guy, the plumber, the maintenance man at your apartment, you know what I'm saying?
The guy that he employs.
Yeah, the guys that they employ. These guys keep the world running. I'm not saying that these guys should be esteemed higher than a Dame or Coach Andre or Freshie Snipes or, you know, so I'm not saying they should be esteemed higher, but my point is just saying that if we get to the point we're looking down on them because they don't own a business, you know, we call them a slave. That's something that's just really offensive to our ancestors and to those people who keep the world running for us.
Facts.
Good point. Good point. All right, y'all.
Down to the music. And to me, that's all a creative art. For me to be able to make a record, make a movie, make the clothes in the movie, make the music in the movie, be able to distribute the movie, be able to edit the movie, all of that is just me having fun. And then be able to monetize it. I've never been a businessman, or else I'd do anything I could for money. See, a true businessman does anything they could for money. They compromise, they'll bite their lip and let somebody talk to them a certain way. That's not me. I can't be a businessman because honestly, it's like, it's my integrity before the money. Right. And that might not be the best thing, but I know my kids love me and I'm the president in my house.
Right. You mentioned having fun. And we used to see you in the videos back in the Gap, always having fun, popping the crystal and all that type of stuff. I was doing it last night. Yeah, but we used to see that publicly with the videos and stuff, and we don't see that much as now. Like now, when we typically see you in public, you checking somebody, you talking about some major venture that you have, and you know it's serious. A lot. We see a lot more serious Dame. Is that? I guess you just answered that because I was going to ask you: is that fun Dame kind of more reserved for your friends and family, the close people?
It's just that y'all always see me in the ring. They don't show nothing else. So when before there was Instagram, they only show clown Champagne Dame. So if you ever look at my interviews, I'd be like, I don't know why y'all only show me, you know, popping bottles, and y'all never show the business I do. They never did that. Another thing they never showed was I was a single dad the whole time, taking care of a little boy, my son. They never said that, because to me, that was the thing I was the most proud of. How come they never talk about that? I went to court, got my son, and do all this Rockefeller stuff. I take my kid to school every day and take pride in that.
Pause it.
I'm a little confused with this. I'm like, you keep saying they. You
exactly.
put videos out.
At the same time, talking about controlling your own narrative. As much as Dame was on TV, I never heard even him mention this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
In these interviews. At the very least, I would respect it more if he say like, man, I had these things shown and they cut it out, right? Call that out. But like they never showed it. I mean,
yeah.
He's kind of a walking contradiction at this point, and he's very, very emotional when he says these things. And to this point, he's always been a walking contradiction. Why he's on this type of time, I think he has things of value to add to the culture from a confidence standpoint. The point of this platform is to entreat the audience to watch and pick out the jewels that make sense and leave the rest of the nonsense there. You don't have to take it wholesale, the message wholesale, and run with it. You can take what works for you and leave the rest of it behind.
That's real.
They never talked about that. So that's why, like, a person that's looking for freedom, Once the internet, I knew the future of the internet as soon as I retired. I retired from playing these games. I'm like, now I can control my own narrative. And once I could, now you see how I'm looked at. So if there wasn't me speaking on me and controlling my narrative, you would think Champagne Dame, loud, stupid, and broke, living in a shelter somewhere. They don't show no, they never put anything in the paper but my bills at all. And I'd be proud. I'd be like, yeah, I'm cracked. I just invested $100 million. So what? That's like I just bought 30 cakes, 30 bricks in the street. You a don for that. But of course they're gonna make you think somebody winning being independent is losing because they don't want you to be independent. You got dumbasses like Vlad TV keep saying my name because I'm clickbait, because for some reason, like, why did they respect this guy so much? Why does a Lior and a Vlad, people from other cultures, always question what I do and want people to remember me a certain way? Because no one remembers you. Because I've controlled my narrative by being consistent and fighting for the people I love. Nobody understands the love I get because they don't give no love. You don't understand how to get love unless you know how to give it. So they don't even get it. Yeah, I know I'm loved because I love my people. If I didn't love my people wouldn't love me. You know? I'm not going to make money with you or you spend money with me. Anytime you spend money with me, I want you educated. I want you to buy something with me because I can eat, and then you can go and actually make whatever I taught you into some money. So that's what happens. Whenever I get caught up, whenever I have to promote one of my products, I end up trying to talk to the culture, because whoever, usually like, you know, in the masses or that's working corporate, they're always asking me something that behooves corporate. And it's like trying to trigger me and trying to get that viral moment.
Yes,
now I'm going to make you the viral moment.
I just want to pose a question. I don't really want to spend too much time on this. You know, I'm trying to give the audience food for thought. So what Dame just described is him teaching somebody something, him giving somebody an opportunity, and then they'd be able to take that and go make some money with it. In what way? Well, let me pose it like this. Is Dame saying that he's giving people these opportunities to go make money without him having any access to it away from him? And if he is, that's fine, right? Can we not look at a Lior Cohen and say, listen, I took you from whatever situation you was in, I gave you a platform, I gave you marketing, I gave you all this, and I have now allowed you to change your tax bracket, to change your family's life. And obviously I'm making some money. I got to get a return on my investment. Like, it seems like Dame is attacking basic economics, right? No investor is out there putting money into something, not looking for, not expecting a return on their investment. No one's just throwing money, because that's what that is. That's throwing money away. Basic economics, what Dame is talking about, and he's essentially describing what he's doing, right? I'm giving you game, I'm giving you opportunity, I'm giving you education to go and make yourself some money. That's what artists are doing, no?
Yeah.
There's several artists who are independent who are making it, but no man is an island. Every artist needs someone else. And I would be interested in seeing if you made any one of these people, you know, these black guys, right? Let's just say Kanye, for example, with good music, right? There's plenty of rumors out there about Kanye doing bad business with artists that look like him. Does Kanye fall into the same realm as a Dame Dash, or do we put him in the same box as a Lior Cohen?
Mm-hmm.
And is the only difference between the two boxes his skin color?
Yeah.
If it's based on his skin color, I would invite you to use a little bit of logic and reasoning, and pull your head out of your emotions and look at it with a reasonable, logical eye.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, that culture
good
vulture.
Point.
Yeah, the culture vulture is not. Well, I think he defined it. I think he said it doesn't have to. I think he called Steve Stout a culture vulture.
Yeah, so he did.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Also, has anyone ever heard any other person talk about Lior Cohen keep his name alive as much as Dame Dash? I don't. He says things like, "No one remembers you." But I'm like, bro, every time I hear about Leo Cohen doing anything, it's attached to you, or you bringing it up, or you saying something. Like, I don't hear about Leo Cohen from nobody else.
So you saying he's doing the same thing he accused DJ Vlad of doing to him?
Yeah, keeping his name in his mouth. Like, why are you worried about me? If I was Leo Cohen, I'd be like, why is this man Dame worried about what I'm doing, man? I'm over here making my money, man.
Yeah.
Why does man keep bringing my name up? He another man, ain't he? Because Dame will consistently say, like, I don't like talking about another man, and then immediately go in and talk about other men. I'd be like, bruh, this man is Ricky Bobby with it. Yeah. I said with all due respect. That doesn't mean you can say whatever you want after that, Ricky Bobby. Yes, it does.
Hilarious. Yeah, man. That's it. Damn. Interesting.
By being smart. See, the trick is to go viral by doing something smart, not dumb. You could go viral by getting punched in the face or punching in the face or being violent or doing some dumb shit any day. That's cheating. But do something smart. Create a new algorithm, not for dysfunction, for evolution. Let's see you be an artist. Do that, because that's the only thing that's gangster to me. All the real gangsters I know, they always want to do good. They only doing what they got to do. But once they don't have to, they usually don't. So I'm not trying to be looking at my culture continue to make money from. Like, I'm not fighting no other black men. That's done, because I know even if I want to, I'm not doing it unless it's with gloves, because that's what they want us to do. You know, Irv was talking shit about me, and Page 6 was calling me like, Irv was talking about you. What you got to say to that? I said, I spoke at Harvard yesterday. Right about that. But when two black men might have a disagreement, you're going to put that in the newspaper so we can... You understand what I'm saying?
You know, as I mentioned earlier, you're very passionate, and when it comes to our people, and you know, it's easy to see how much you care, how much you genuinely care about our people.
I just don't like nerds punking us.
Here's a question that I have. Knowing how much that you love our people and how passionate you are, and how passionate you are about us getting our respect, how did you reconcile what you heard Kanye say when Kanye said that slavery was a choice? Well, how did you? And I know Kanye is a good friend of yours, so
number one, he's bipolar.
How did you deal with that?
I had a conversation with him.
Okay.
So number one, and I had a conversation with Van, so I can show you. I brought Van to and I said, let's talk about this. Now, you know that man is bipolar. Why would you bring him to TMZ and ask him questions while you know he's triggered? He's clinically bipolar. Number one. Number two, I say slavery is a choice right now, but not slavery is a choice back then, right now. For us to think that there are masters is our choice right now, but I don't think he meant back then. But again,
I can accept that. I can accept that.
And that's the thing, is like sometimes I would have conversations with Kanye and he would kind of say what I'm saying, but say it wrong. So it's the context, but you always have to give that man, and even though he's a billionaire, it doesn't mean that he's not bipolar. And he's not going to say he's bipolar, and he's going to get mad at me for saying it, but he's bipolar because I've had to deal with it. I've seen it. So I'm like, yo, why? Has anybody ever dealt with somebody that's bipolar? The one thing you don't do when somebody's triggered is put them in front of cameras. The most dangerous thing for a bipolar person is money. A billionaire bipolar means while you're bipolar, everyone's still listening to you. A broke bipolar, they put you in the room until the ambulance comes. But, if you're making $5-6 million a year with this man, bipolar or not, certain people are still listening. That's why y'all keep listening to him right now. Y'all know he's triggered. Y'all know he's, you know what I mean? It is, I don't care what he's saying. Nobody that's bipolar says they're bipolar while they're triggered. No one admits it, like, oh, I'm bipolar, I'm having an attack right now. Nah, they just start bugging out. So why would you, like, that's the problem I had with people around him. I'm like, why y'all keep putting him in front of the camera when he's triggered? And I'd have to be the person to say, yo, get off the ranch.
Man, I'm really glad that I'm having this conversation with you about Kanye, because I be going in on Kanye ass. And I don't want to go in on Kanye, but I love my people too. And when I feel like we're under attack, I don't care what the ethnicity of the person is, I'm going in.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
He doesn't not want you to go in on him. He does that so you do that. He's a person that pulls triggers. Look at his career. George Bush doesn't like black people. Ran up on Taylor Swift. It's one publicity stunt after another. That's his model, is triggering you. The more,
pause it real quick.
Every time Trump says something racist and we hate it, somebody loves it.
So is Kanye out of his mind when he's doing these things, or is this a tactic? What, like, according to Dame, stop putting him on camera when he's doing this type of stuff, but 10 seconds later in the conversation, you'd be like, man, you doing this on purpose. I think Dame been getting into his Harlem thing too much, and he just be talking. He just be saying stuff that sound good. Harlem niggas, they slick. They hustlers at heart, and I ain't mad at them. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, I just like, which is all I'm asking the audience to do. Like, when this man is talking, just listen to what he's like. Actually, listen to what he's saying, because if it don't make sense, you don't have to take it, man, or ask for clarification or do your own research. Like, that's what we're asking you to do. Like, if you like what Dame is saying, that's cool, right? I like, when Dame gets to talking his ish, sometimes I be feeling that. But it's just like, you can't take what some of these people say wholesale because they say they for the community, or so that's my point. I have to call out these contradictions often because I just don't understand how someone could hear him in an interview say something like that live, and it's like, is he talking fast or you just listening slow? You're not gonna say nothing about that? Like, he just said two contradicting statements in the same 10-second sentence.
Got anything, Coach?
No, man, I got nothing this time, bro.
Okay.
I got nothing. I just got to call it a night. I got to get up early.
Oh, okay.
Hurry up and finish. Dang, man, you dragging this out, man. God dang, stop stopping the video, man.
Yeah. Just let us know. You say you about to call it a night?
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all fellas having me on, man. Hit me up for next time, and we'll be in contact.
Man, be easy, Andre.
Definitely, man.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you
Already.
coming on, man. We definitely enjoy it.
Enjoy
All right,
that.
Coach Andre signing out. All right.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah. Yes, sir. You got anything, Bo, before we move on?
No, sir.
Loves it. He's not talking for us. He's talking for the ones that love it, Trump. You understand what I mean? So it's the same thing. That's why I don't pay him. Like, I already know with him, if let's say he says, let's do something, sends an order to somebody. If they get it right the first time, he's still going to say he don't like it. Because he's just troll. He's a troll. He got everybody dressing like a crackhead, bro. He's doing that shit on purpose.
Wow.
That's why I don't do that, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I know what you're doing. You're trolling. You walk around barefooted. He's trolling. Yeah, watch this. I could get dudes to wear tights and barefoot. I'm like, I don't know you can do that one. But I'm not saying we had the combo. I'm like, when I see it, I'm like, yo, he bugging, but I know he's playing. He wants you to get at him. He does it on why would he do the things he does if he doesn't want the reaction? And another thing I wanted to say to you, point, you box, right? Yeah. You know that if you brace your face, the punch usually doesn't knock you out. It's the ones you don't see that knock you out. Mm-hmm. So that's why in life, if you walk around with your face out, my shit is braced because I know I'm gonna get hit. So that's the thing. When you get into a ring, you know you're gonna get hit. It doesn't mean you stop. It means you block, hit, and then you hit back. Getting hit is part of the game. That's why I love boxing. It's one-on-one and it's life. It's about your stamina, not your skill. The skill is important, but the stamina is way more. You understand what I mean? If you can't pass a minute, it's over. You could look good for 30 seconds, but once you're tired and somebody on your head, what you gonna do? And everybody's looking? Nothing.
Well, if you have two people that are skilled and have stamina, the person who's most skilled is going to win that fight.
True. But if they both skilled and one has less stamina and he runs out of gas,
absolutely,
he going.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, the skill. If they both are, if you have both, then yeah, you're gonna win. But if you don't have stamina, you can't go 10 rounds. You can't. You could go 1 or 2. That's why I could never really box because I didn't want to run. Like I said, I'll get in the ring and give you a minute or 3. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you 1, but you know what I'm saying? After that, everything. You know what it is when you just lose, you be like, oh man, when is this round gonna be over? You know what I mean? Once you get to that point, you're done. Yeah. So if you so my point is, life is a fight. You have to have stamina. You should have some skill, and you're gonna get hit, but you got to hit back. You better block, brace your face when you get hit because you will, but it won't knock you out. If you act like a punch isn't coming and you're not gonna see it, you're gonna end up waking up on the floor, and that's life.
Is Stacey Dash really your cousin, man?
Yeah. First cousin. She's on my nerves, bro.
She's your first cousin.
Yeah.
Is she bipolar?
I think so.
Yes.
But it's my cousin. I'll just tell you this. I'm going to say it like this. I know you've been to a family function and you're at the table and there's always that one uncle or aunt that's just outrageous and has the crazy opinion and y'all argue, but they still sit at the table and you still love them. That's Kanye and Stacey Dash. I don't agree with not a lot of things they say and not a lot of things they do. But he's still my brother, and that's still my cousin. I don't agree with
Stacey Dash, though, man. Stacey Dash. I think if Stacey Dash was my cousin, I'd get my other cousins to jump her. I'd get my girl cousins to jump her, dog.
Why? How you know we have
it? Okay. All right. Well, we'll leave that allegedly.
I didn't say anything. I just said how you know. Again, how do you carry things in your family? But it always stays in your family.
Yeah.
So again, publicly, that's my cousin. I don't agree. Privately, we deal with things accordingly.
Gotcha. when it's time for you to go and you ain't.
Yeah, that's interesting. Not a big point. Just want to point out. Well, I'm not sure. I know I heard some of the things that Stacey Dash over the years, some of the stuff she has said in the media, but to orchestrate or get family members to beat up for her own opinion, that's kind of wild, you know. So
That's pretty wild.
that's kind of wild. So
That's why you think. One, I don't think they did that.
No, Willie. I'm talking about Willie D actually suggesting it. Even if it's a joke, that's still kind of wild. That's kind of crazy. And, you know,
To beat them up. I
what,
don't know.
difference of opinion? Just because we got a different opinion? Did she harm anybody?
I suppose if you see it as harmful to the community or misrepresenting your family.
For an opinion, though.
I mean, everybody has an opinion. We talking about Dame and his opinion right now, but I think it's based on your platform.
Wait a minute,
how much reach you have and how much influence you have.
Willie D is a part of the Ghetto Boys. Have you heard some of their music back in the early 90s?
Of course. I'm from,
you beat up
you know where I'm from, right?
Yeah, so you're going to beat up Stacey. The stuff they was rapping about? I never heard Willie D say things about killing. I'm not even going to repeat some of them lyrics. But Stacey Dash, I think she has her views are more leaning towards the left. I'm sorry, the right, more conservative views, and that's grounds for getting jumped.
And we're being 100% honest. The right, from Stacey Dash's point, probably suits her more. Like Dave Chappelle said, like Donald Trump is my president. Stacey Dash been rich since she was a child.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
she probably ain't experienced none of the stuff that we experience in the hood or in the inner cities or struggling. Like that's not her life. That's not her story. Her story probably aligns more with Donald Trump than it does ours.
Well, not just her money. I mean, she's really an attractive woman, so she definitely have what they call pretty privilege. So she actually
pretty privilege, money privilege.
Got treated better than most of the people that's in her family or neighborhood. But yeah, I'm just trying to focus on that. That's crazy. That
even none of her. I don't think any of her roles were like ghetto or like all of her roles been stuff like Clueless. Is it Clueless?
Yeah, Clueless.
Yeah, it been stuff like that where it's right along with like she's our black representation. She's Carlton. Carlton. We wouldn't expect Carlton to side with us on hood issues. He's not hood. Yeah. But I think, and this is what I don't like to that point, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say on it. I think black people associate or they think hood living is synonymous with the black experience.
Yeah, we do that sometimes.
Where it's like if we don't do this. I'm like, no, I'm black because I'm black because I'm black. I'm not black because I grew up how you grew up. I'm not black because we live the same lifestyle. I'm black because I am black. Carlton had a infamous quote in the episode of Fresh Prince, right? He said, listen, I'm black because I wake up and do the same thing. I run the same race that you run every day. So why are you tripping me up, brother?
Oh yeah. We definitely got to do an episode on that. I mean, do an episode on that particular episode. But that's all I want to pose for the audience. Which is worse? Some of the lyrics and some of the things Willie D was promoting in the early 90s, or what Stacey Dash and some of her views she was promoting 5 or 10 years ago. What's more detrimental to our people? And is that grounds for being physically harmed? But hey, if you have everybody have an opinion.
You got no more. How do you want to be remembered?
As a conqueror, a warrior, like Alexander the Great, but like, because that one till the day, you know what I mean? Like Julius Caesar. Back in those days, no matter how much money you had, you weren't famous unless you won a war. You had no respect unless you fought for your country. So my respect comes from my fight for my culture, which is like my country. And like a Malcolm X / Steven Spielberg, like I don't think anyone's ever seen anything like me before. I don't think you'll ever see another person that loves so many different creative things and does them well, but also loves his people, that will also embarrass the people that everyone else is kind of scared to, that's oppressing us, and that hasn't lost his mind. Because again, it's a lot of things, and if you don't enjoy it, unless you really want those things, then it will drive you nuts. I find that most people that are unhappy broke are unhappy rich. You know what I mean? So I'm just a happy guy, and when it's time, I don't think I'm extra tough. I'm not running around shaking nobody down or nothing like that. I just feel like every man is equal and treat me as such. But unless you're being a man and doing the man stuff, it's going to be hard for me to look at you as one. So if you ain't taking care of your kids and you're cheating and you're doing things I don't respect, you're a soldier. You don't talk general. You talk soldier. You're not going to understand what I'm saying. Unless you cut a check to somebody, then it's hard. And if you're a person that's only had checks given to you, you never ever paid nobody, you'll never understand what it is to be a boss. You'll never understand why I'm mad. So most people that are entrepreneurs understand me. Most soldiers don't. It ain't meant for you to understand me. Stay in your lane. A soldier should never talk to a general like that. Or a soldier should aspire to be a general, and I'll help you. You understand what I mean? Everyone has the ability to be a general. Everyone has that fight. It's just the fear that usually stops them.
Pause.
If you're a
lot of the stuff that he's saying, I mean, it's good inspirational talk. There's a lot of truth to it, but when he says that a soldier should aspire to be a general and everybody has the ability to be a general, it's just not true. We're talking about 8 billion people on this earth right now. The reality is that everybody is not equipped to be a general. Not everybody wants to be a general. Not everybody has the skills to be a general. In today's time here, we have technology and personality tests and aptitude tests that determine your ability to be a general. Being a general is a very rare personality that's suited to do that has the aptitude to do it, that has the willingness to do it, has the intelligence to do it. It takes a lot. So, go ahead.
I was gonna say, can you even be a successful entrepreneur in most arenas without the soldiers?
You really can. Obviously, there'll be a lot more soldiers than owners. I mean, that's just the reality. Everything's a pyramid. I mean, obviously, at every business, the lower tier the individual is as far as the monetary scale, the more of them you're going to see.
It's just it's just sensationalism. That's what he's doing. He's saying he's using keywords, things he knows going appeal to emotion. Like I want you to feel good about yourself so you can feel good about what I'm saying. But to Volker's point, like none of this stuff makes sense. That's the problem. Like it doesn't make sense. None of it is based in reality.
And my issue with this is that when it goes back to relationships and people dating and stuff like that, women, I think, might be beguiled by this guy and think that she looks at her husband, who's a maintenance man, who's doing whatever he's doing, making $42,000 a year, which is the average income for a black man, and thinks like he could be a general. And Dame Dash said he could be a general. And Dame Dash is just one of many who are saying this, who are pushing this narrative that everybody could be this and be that. I remember one of the things, my mentors, he was a owner of a company, partner in a company worth $30 million. And one time he called me, he was like, "Hey James, your personalities thing came in, and he says you would make a great VP of sales, but you never be a great CEO." And he goes, "One of the differences between you and me, our personalities are very similar, but the difference to you and I is that you make friends we don't need to win." He goes, "I may only make a friend if I need to win." That is a personality thing. So it has nothing to do with my ability to be a general or not be a general. I'm not saying that I can't still be a general. In some ways, I have been a general in my life. My point is just saying this right here. Some people don't have the value set to want to go that high on the ladder. They just don't have it. And that's important to me because I want people to understand that don't let anybody make you think that you're less than because you don't take the same career path that they take. If you're lazy, then yeah, they're better than you. You know what I'm saying? But if you're working hard at what you do and you take pride in what you do, or you take pride in what you do, what it enables you to do for your family and for yourself, you should be proud of that. And my whole thing is everybody has a different station, different skill set, and obviously this is completely understood. Not everybody's gonna be the president. Not everybody's gonna be a general. Not everybody's going to be a captain. You know what I'm saying? You know, not everybody's going to be a business owner. Not everybody's going to be a CEO. That's a small subset of people that are equipped and have the desire for that type of role, that type of lifestyle.
Yeah.
It has its rewards and it has its pitfalls, like everything else.
Yep. And it's subjective to your personal set of values.
Definitely. And
it shouldn't be looked down on. Think about the physics of it. I mean, even like if everyone is at the top of the ladder, it's going to topple. The bottom of the ladder will be now at the bottom. Like it's a weird dynamic to push without any sort of real context attached to it. But again, it's sensationalism, and it should be looked at as such. Should be looked at as inspirational talk and nothing else.
Definitely. All right, y'all.
A wild dog, and you eat the food you kill every day, and you walk up and you see a dog getting fed on a leash, you laughing at that dog on that leash. I get to be the wild dog that laughs at the ones on the leash that come out the big house. I still laugh at them. No amount of money is not going. I'm still going to laugh at you. I don't care how much.
That's
money
crazy.
Because you're on a leash, and you're trained, and you drink out of a milk bowl. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's how I look at it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Let me ask you this, man. You know, I never even thought about this, man. But have you ever, and I mean this respectfully, have you ever thought about doing stand-up comedy?
I do. You ever let me show you me cutting Kevin Hart up?
Funny as hell, man.
I used to do. I have a show that I did with Smokey called Mixed Nuts Pause.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, he'd have all these comedians. I'd be like, listen, I'm gonna open up. If y'all not funny than me, you got to get out of here because I'm not a comedian. You know what I'm saying? So I'm funnier than you. You got to go. So I would never do official stand-up. But I definitely cut niggas' ass. Pause. Like we snap. I'm from Harlem, so that's what we do.
Right.
But yeah, I'm definitely the comedian killer. You know what I mean? And I'm 51 now, so it's too late. Whoever wants to get theirs back can't, because I'm too old now. So I'll be a bully. You'll be bullying me. But yeah, get it. Like I said, I invented pause. My crew, like all of us, all the funny stuff that we do is went into pop culture, down to slang. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not a comedian, but I definitely put comedians in movies, and I'll be in the movie with comedians. I got jokes. We definitely snap.
Yeah, man, you definitely snapped in this interview, man, and you are definitely one of our best, man. You know, we've all been blessed with your presence, bro.
Thank you.
Thank God for your mother and father.
Thank you.
You are a true general, and thank you for your service.
I appreciate that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Damon Dash. No more talk.
Damon Dash. Time to fuse.
Definitely. Interesting show. Any closing thoughts?
I'll start off the closing thoughts on this one. I just want to say that the second half, wasn't as doctrinal, I guess, if you will, or as orthodoxy as the other one. I mean, so I think in that sense, we weren't stopping it as often. A lot of it was kind of redundant at that point.
Shout out CQ Quick in the building.
So yeah, I mean, I think for me, I think Dame brings up a lot of points. I think Willie D said something really real whenever he was talking about how Dame would be good in Deion's locker room. I think Willie D did a really good job interviewing him in the sense of keeping his ego in check. There was times that could have been contentious in the interview, and he handled it with class, and he gave the audience a good show. So I think Willie D was really excellent in that. We probably should cover one day Willie D in the Scarface situation.
I want to.
We probably should cover that right there.
Yeah.
Man, y'all just bringing up drama amongst black kings, man. What's wrong with y'all, man? Golly, man. Let the man live, man.
Yeah.
That's out there. Go ahead, Fresh.
Listen, guys. As always, we're not attacking these people, right? We're just exposing some of the sophistry that's involved in their messages. These people have major platforms, and when they frame things as matter-of-factly as they do, it can be interpreted in several ways. And the interpretation that, the interpretive tools that this channel or this platform is trying to equip the community with, particularly the black community, is logic and reason in order to be able to evaluate these speeches and these talks and these statements that folks are making with a certain level of scrutiny that will allow them to make solid decisions that they can be proud of, and will hold up down the line. You won't have buyer's remorse if you look at
Oh, he went out.
with the level of scrutiny that is necessary. So again, if you like what Dame is saying and you feel like what he's saying is hot, at least feel like what he's saying is hot based on the fact that you identified the things and attendance that he said that make sense to you, and not just because he's Dame Dash and he was with Rockefeller and I like the way he talks, so I agree with what he says. Like, please evaluate and analyze with a lens of logic and reason the things that these people say, so you won't be caught up. Because like I said last time, not everybody that says they for you is for you. Sometimes they just against something and they need your support.
Yeah,
go ahead. You know,
no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna shout out the guest Hoop earlier. You know, Coach
man.
Andre. I apologize for cutting the flow, cutting the stream. That was my bad. But I appreciate everyone who commented, people who watched, people who are gonna watch in the future. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, man. In the future, man, we trying to blow up and reach more people with these tools that we're offering.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed the guest today. Shout out to Coach Andre. I gotta holler at you, man. I like your introduction. I can improve, man. With your, I need your help.
Yeah, he needs you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, put me in the game. Shout out to Hoops again. Enjoyed your presence on the show again. And Mario, definitely come back. I know you only had 10 minutes to give, but you said a lot.